Moldred, I think is what it is. Calling from New York. You're live on Talk Heathen. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Moldred, yeah. M-O-L-D-R-E-D, Moldred, yeah. Frank Zappa came up with that name, and I adopted it.
Cool.
That's what he was going to call his next kid. But, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Mr. Snow or Jimmy or whatever, did you see the video that I sent you about from the quantum gravity research people about reality?
I don't know. What's the time frame on this? Was this in the last week?
Yeah, it was in the last week.
Then no, I haven't seen anything like that in the last week. It doesn't mean you didn't send it. I just haven't seen it.
I'll send it again. Yeah, I'll send it again. Then that would be that would be too complicated to try and explain. So I'll just we'll just talk about biocentrism, which is basically the concept that the universe, reality or the universe is maintained in the collective awareness of the life forms throughout the universe.
All right. Well, Moldred, I want to start with this. I want to start with this about the quantum thing you already said, though. It's possible I'll watch it. If it's hours, I'm definitely not going to. But in my experience, and I think you will possibly find the same experience, the moment people start advocating for quantum concepts within a spiritual kind of framework, there's a 7,000% chance they have no idea what quantum concepts are.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that you're aware that I'm going to go into that, having had these conversations a million times, and I have very little understanding of quantum physics, and yet I have enough to be able to identify these people who have even less understanding than I do. So I want you to know that I'm already maybe going in, maybe it's cynicism that I'm saying I am going in at, but I would like to suggest to you, whenever you hear these concepts, because they're not even widely understood scientific concepts yet,
right?
You should know that people are mostly hypothesizing and that there's probably a lot of LSD involved, which is totally cool with me.
For Truth Wanted, I've been wanting to get a breaking case of quantum conversations box just right behind me that I can break anytime these conversations come up, because I feel the same way, Jimmy. It's like, not only am I not qualified, but also there's a good likelihood that the person talking to me isn't either, so it's kind of a non-starter. But let's go. We'll talk about the biocentrism, Moldred.
Okay, just one quick thing. Check out their website. It's quantum gravity research. They're sort of like physicists more than religious nuts or anything like that. And
I'll be honest, I'd rather talk to physicists and not people who are sort of like physicists about it. But we really want to get to the call that you talked to the call screener about. So let's talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about that. All right. So. My late friend Robert Anton Wilson said, reality is what you can get away with.
Okay. Where is this going? Can we talk about something here? I thought this was about biocentrism.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about biocentrism. All right. How much of the way people perceive the universe is by their life experience, and how far does that go in maintaining reality? That's what biocentrism is about.
All right. So to the point of the individual, our entire reality is based on our perception. The best we can do with the tools we have is to speak with and share experiences with those people who appear to also exist in our reality, because unfortunately we can never prove to ourselves that anyone beyond ourselves exists, and see what commonalities we can come up with. And what's been beautiful about that is while that might be true of the way we experience reality is according entirely to our perception, as we do commune with other people and get this information from other people, anybody who thinks like, because you can't prove it, now it's okay to suspect it, that's almost very flattering that people think I could come up with then in my own brain these advanced concepts of physics and biology and all the sciences, chemistry, everything, that all that came from my brain. I'm very, very flattered. However, I know my own stupid self, and I'm not buying it. So as far as the best we can do goes, we talk to those with whom we share apparently a reality, and we do our best outside of our own, it'd be like super cool, man, sort of concepts to figure out what is true outside of our existence.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. I think, Jim, you hit the nail on the head, So that's all I got.
Yeah.
Well, individually, we're not maintaining the universe. What biocentrism says is that collectively we do it. You don't. One person doesn't know everything or maintain everything in the universe, but collectively, everyone does.
I mean, that's a fun idea, but how do you demonstrate that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. The universe, was it Thunderfoot's basal assumptions? The universe exists. We can learn something about what we perceive to be reality, and ideas that have predictive can predict things are more useful than those that can't.
None of those three things have anything to do with a collectively conscious.
The third one wrong. Yeah.
None of those have to do with the universe being a collective consciousness, right?
No. How do you know that?
Well, what is the link there? What does that have to do with the universe being a collective consciousness? Because I don't see a link. Do you see a link there, Jimmy?
I genuinely am like, what?
Yeah.
First of all, we talked about bringing up atheists that I might shit on you for bringing up. But I'll skip that part. The concept. I mean, to me, it's literally like, this is one of those ones where you can just move the goalposts so easily too, where you're like, well, the concepts of the universe are only maintained by those capable of conceiving concepts, and so. Yeah. Collectively, all of the information that we have, there's some truth and but like, as far as just a data source goes, if you plugged in all those brains, you could find out a lot of stuff, not all of it useful, like what happened on season 6 of 90 Day Fiance, which I can provide to people if they want, but it doesn't matter. To me, this just sounds like a combination of like, if I go down to the minimum of like, everybody was everywhere, man, you can come up with some justification, but I haven't actually heard anything that's demonstrable or should lead me to suspect that the universe, I don't know if you're saying is a product or is just tracked by all of our minds together.
The language there is still a bit iffy too, but yeah. If this isn't really an idea that we can fungibly work with, I don't know how useful it is, and I don't know if it actually tells me anything new about the world. So I don't know. Moldred, you got one more shot here, but other than that, I think we need to get to another caller.
Well, just give me something to work with.
Yeah.
Okay. How about part of a demonstration be the double slit experiment. You acquainted with that?
No.
Okay. If the double slit experiment is a experiment by physicists.
Okay, wait. Actually, I actually don't. I could. The call cut out for a second. I couldn't hear it, but I didn't realize you said the double slit experiment. I don't want to go down the double slit experiment route because that's quantum physics stuff, and we already said like quantum physics is one really not our bag, but also like it's not really going to get us anywhere today, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
this is my thing with all of these, and I don't mean to be condescending but it's going to sound that way, so I'm just going to let it go. These ridiculous ideas where people go like, okay, you know where the proof of my sort of theistic belief is? A branch of science that no one really understands yet, and that everybody is capable of appealing to, and sounds super wicked smart when they do it. It's literally just like, yo, guys, what I believe is that bananas, it's really the perfect object. It's like a soda can. It fits perfectly in the hand. Oh, but here's the problem with that. Right. But let me throw in quantum physics.
right.
Oh, well, that really stupid thing you were just saying. Now I can't say anything because I've brought out a branch of science that you can only refute with the same branch of science, but you really can't because that doesn't exist yet. For example, parts of the original theory of evolution by Darwin could only be really refuted by the biological science of genetics, which wasn't invented until later. So in the meantime, you could have people going around quoting biology and evolution and talking about gene blending instead of how we actually understand it to work. And people just go, oh, well, you quoted a science and I lack the ability to debunk that. This is you gotta go with, at the very least, anybody who makes an appeal to quantum physics for a theistic view has to admit that if that is what it takes to believe in your theistic view, there have been zero people up until about 10 years ago with a good reason to believe in your God. And that should give you some pause.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is with the double slit experiment, even there is debate amongst physicists about what is the quote unquote correct interpretation of what we should get from that kind of experiment. So if even the people who are more expert than me, who've been studying this stuff for years, still have a lot of questions and still have a lot of things that they don't particularly know about the exact results of this thing, I'm not going to cite it to use as a plant into my worldview. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be a base point because one, I don't know enough about it yet, and the people studying this thing clearly don't know enough about it yet. So it's a moot point either way. And I just get I don't know, the quantum stuff is just it's always a mess talking about that. So I want to go ahead and go to another call.